Hey, Shalom, Yeshua, I want to start off by giving no praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to brothers doing the work in truth, more sincerity. It's just a real quick one. Just with a brother earlier on, and in fact, it's something that's been on my mind, actually, going on a couple of months, because you hear like these vegans, these what you call vegetarians being like, meat damages the planet, yada 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 yada. When really and truly, it's not meat that's the problem, it's Esau, right? You go, I'm quote unquote Zimbabwean, right? That's what my slave documents say, right? And where where I'm quote unquote from in that land, you'll know the animal you're eating. It'll be a goat. Might be the family goat. You might only kill that goat when you have guests, right? I know when one of my family members went back there, they ate a special guest. You kill the goat, bam, you skin it, you let it bleed out, you cook it, and then that's not just a meal where you eat it, in in one sitting. That's a meal that you maybe chop it up, put it to the side, because that's another thing over there, from conversations I've had with my mother. Well, I don't know if that's because of the economic situation or just whatever, right? But what I do know is that over there you won't necessarily eat a shitload of meat, right? You may have like a little portion of meat or whatever, what have you, right? But whereas now, for instance, if I could go to my local superstore and have a shitload of meat, why? Because the way Esau set things up, everything is just en masse, and apparently, England's bad, but apparently America's even worse in the sense that man, when from time I saw chicken in a can, a whole chicken in a can, I was like, god damn, right? America's through, right? But this is from Peter, right? The the animal welfare one. Right, it says slim down and become more energized, right? So in terms of slimming down and becoming more energized, because this man is just mass producing, right? He pumps these animals with a shitload of hormones, right? And then that basically makes the people through. That also goes in the happier, healthier, happier you, right? What would you call it? Yeah, and then would you call it looking better as well? So those 3 points, right, just go from the fact that this guy's he's not doing it properly, man. He's just, like I said, he's just mass producing, pumping animals with hormones in the hope that they grow, right? And then you've got bioaccumulation, right? So just look at bioaccumulation, if I can spell. How do I spell this word? Oh man, it's not gonna find it. So bioaccumulation is the accumulation of substances such as pesticides or other chemicals in an organism. Bioaccumulation occurs when an organism absorbs a substance at a rate faster than at which the substance is lost by catabolism and excretion, right? And you should have, should have another one. Where is this? I'm trying to show you the graphic. Here you go. Bam. So this is the graphic that you see here. So you got the little fish where they have a little bit in there, then that gets eaten by the bigger fish, which has now got more, than that eats that, and then now they have more, now the bigger fish eat that, and then now that has the total of all of these smaller ones as it's been magnified. So I think they actually call it biomagnification, slug, right? So I'll carry on, right? It says it goes on to say, yes, it says it's the best way to help the animal, right? But once again, this is an Esau thing, not a meat thing, right? Because the scriptures give you give you guidance on what animals you can and can't eat, right? But like once again, way Esau's flip things upside down, right? You feel away eating certain kinds of meat because man, he's splicing genes, mixing it with the meat and shit. Right, this is Deuteronomy 25:4 says, "Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn." Right, so you basically get let's look. What do you call it? Right, you get all of that. It's like, nah, man, let the cow eat. It's doing the work. Let the cow eat. Right, and then you also get Exodus 23:19, the first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk. Basically, you got a kid, right? You're supposed to let it grow, right? And then when it's weaned from the breast, and then when it's an adult and lived life, then you can then you can eat and kill it, right? And I think, what was it, veal? Now, why does it think I want Dutch? Or maybe I can't spell. Yeah, so the flesh of a calf used as food. But if I'm not mistaken, that should be what would you call it? That's a young. Yeah. So a veal is the meat of calves in contrast to the beef from older cattle. Right, so you ain't supposed to be eating veal. Right, so the scriptures talk about, look, man, you would you call it? You help the animal grow. Rather you allow the animal to grow to full age in time, right? Not in what do you call it? Not in pumping it full of hormones so that it grows quickly. No, you let the animal have a life, right? Because what happens? You kill the animal off young, right? Which means you flipping you cause the mother. The mother cow, which got a lot of pain and anguish, meaning that they get they get traumatized. Now the meat or the milk isn't as good, etc., etc., etc. I'm no biologist, so I can't break it down to a T, right? But a happy animal is a tasty animal, which is why you get that Wagyu beef, which from Japan, I believe, and that beef is expensive. I remember looking at the Wagyu beef from Harrods. That was going for like £90 a kilo. Real Wagyu. Right? It says so we got that. Oh yeah, I must needs. Proverbs 12:10 says, "A righteous man regardeth the life of his beasts, right? But the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." Right, so a righteous man will take care of his animal. He'll be like, look, let me take care of this animal. Our animal's got a bit of a bad leg. Hey, let me bandage it up. Right, but then you'll be eating, say, KFC or whatever, or like crackhead chicken, right? From your local chicken shop or whatever. Right, and you can see that the wings are broken. And how do you think those wings were broken? That animal was probably walking around with a broken wing or broken leg or whatever. Right, and just suffering. Right, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Right, you're supposed to take care of your beasts. You're supposed to take care of your animals. Right, I mean, that's why the whole world is gonna rejoice when Esau's put down. Right, even the animals, the trees, everything's gonna rejoice. Right, because things are now gonna be done in righteousness. You see some of those videos where guys are playing football with, or soccer as you call it, playing soccer with the animals, or throwing them and shit, kicking them, and those guys are wicked, man. It's wickedness, right? It says meat is gross. Meat is often contaminated with feces, blood, and other bodily fluids, right? And once again, what's that going into? It's going into the way this guy, just mass produce it. Same with the next one, right? It says eating meat doesn't just hurt animals, it hurts people too. It takes a ton of crops and water to raise farmed animals. And it says it goes into the fact that you have a lot of I think maybe it's in this one, how you get I can't even find that. Well, basically talks about how the farmers in those regions of the world end up, instead of making food that's good to eat, they make food that will feed these cattle, to go in your McDonald's or whatever, what have you, right? But once again, this just goes to the fact that this guy doesn't know how to manage. Everything is what you call it, for profit, right? You should, like I said, once again, you need to let your animals grow. You need to you need to take care of your animals, right? Because like I said, the happier the animal, the better the meat, the less hormones in that meat naturally, right? And it goes on to some bullshit, and then it says pigs. You ain't even supposed to be eating pigs, right? But once again, that's been flipped. That people are like, oh my god, you eat, to those groups, oh my god, you eat dogs whilst eating the BLT, right? Yeah, but I mostly hit the point, from these articles and that, because you like I said, you hear all these people saying, oh, eating meat is terrible, this, that, and the other, but it ain't the meat that's the problem. It's Esau and his mismanagement of the world, his mismanagement of the resources that the Lord has given, right? So this is Isaiah 24:5 says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant, right? And what are some of we'll go into that, because the earth is defiled, right? So the animals are through, the grain they're eating is through. I mean, Esau will be feeding cows corn, right? And then he did this thing where he ended up cannulated cow, right? Where you end up putting holes in the side of cows, right? And guess what? Now to monitor their digestive tracts or whatever. And do you know what they found out? They found out cows ain't supposed to be eating corn, right? It says because they have transgressed the laws. So what's one of the laws? One of the laws is from Leviticus 25 says, speak unto the children of Israel, saying unto them, when you come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord, right? So we've got land Sabbath, right? So 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard and gather in the fruit thereof, but in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard, that which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land. Right, so basically you should basically let the land grow. Let the land grow of its own, for that 7th year, leave the land alone. Right, what does Esau do? Esau overworks the land. Right, he then has to say, oh shit, the land is through, right? And that's why you get flipping weeds, because weeds have longer roots, and their roots are basically going deep down and bringing the nutrients from lower ground. So if you're seeing a lot of weeds, it's basically saying this land is through. But what does Esau do? Herbicides, right? But the Lord is ready giving you something to handle that. Right, so let me finish that. Because he transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. Right, Revelation 11:18 is closed on this, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And that's the point I wanted to get on there, because the Lord is going to destroy Esau and all these heathen nations. They've all had a hand, right? But they're going to be destroyed for the way they've damaged the earth. Like, you remember the video I was doing earlier on with a brother, he spoke about how you have these dead zones, in China, where which you call it, all toxic waste is just dumped, and you get this black sludge, right? And where's that toxic waste coming from? These factories that be producing all manner of shit that gets sent and sold over in America and England or Europe, wherever, right? The Lord is coming to cleanse the world with this nuclear fire, and we can't wait, right? So laws will you edified, And with that, I'll say shalom.